At this point, we'll return to the City of Menasha Common Council meeting, and we do have one remaining item, the report of department head, staff, and consultants, and we have an update from the city attorney on litigation that the city is involved in pertaining to incorporation of lands compromising the town of Menasha, Winnebago County, with the Fox Crossings Incorporation, the City of Kaukauna versus the Village of Harrison, and the City of Menasha versus Waverly Sanitary District. If need be, if there's anything that we cannot discuss in open session, we can move to closed session after we're done getting a short update on each of the first three items. Attorney Captain?
With respect to items 2 and 3, which are City of Kaukauna versus Village of Harrison and the City of Menasha versus Waverly Sanitary District, both of those cases are in the hands of the appellate court, so all of the briefing has been completed, and we are waiting decisions in both of those cases. So I just wanted to let you know that. The incorporation of part of the town of Harrison, it was scheduled for a hearing on the incorporation petition at which the City of Menasha, City of Neenah, City of Appleton, Town of Clayton, and then of course the Town of Menasha and the petitioners appeared. The Common Council had given me authority to ask to be a party of interest in that particular case, and so I did that. We looked at basically what the role of the circuit court is when a petition is filed. There are certain minimum requirements: land area, population per square mile, a certain number of signatures that are required on the petition. They have to be both a freeholder and an elector, and then publication of the notices. I'm trying to think of what else would be. Anything I'm missing, Greg? Okay. So there's a number of basic things that the circuit court would be looking at. And of course, the area has to be described with accuracy. We did have an initial question with regard to the legal description that was on the petition. It didn't exactly match our GIS system, which then we discovered through the discussions with the surveyor that there's differences there between what the surveyor would be looking at and then what is actually in the GIS system. So we initially, when the first court hearing, we had 2 court hearings. So the first court hearing, we asked for an adjournment so that we could look at the legal description and make sure that everything was going to, that we agreed with everything and wanted to look at all of the other requirements and make sure that they were met. And when we came back for the second hearing, we did agree with the basic requirements of the statute, and that the petition met all the basic requirements, so we did not voice any objections. We initially thought there would be an objection with regard to the legal description, but upon further review then we decided that was not an avenue to pursue. So we did inform the court of that, and we're in the process now of putting the proposed order together for the court's signature. We just actually completed that. I believe we agreed on the language today, and that will be submitted to the court then tomorrow. The process from there, then once the order is signed, the petition for incorporation as well as the resolution that the Common Council adopted indicating a willingness to annex that territory proposed for incorporation, That goes to the Incorporation Review Board. That's a board that's set up by statute through the State of Wisconsin Department of Administration. There also was a resolution, a similar resolution, that was adopted by the City of Neenah, and that was anticipated. City of Appleton did not adopt any such resolution. And so that information is forwarded to the Incorporation Review Board, and we have, I believe it is 30 days within which to request, any party in interest can request a hearing, that the Incorporation Review Board actually hold a hearing on the petition. And I guess that's what I'm requesting now, is that we do make that request when the opportunity presents itself. The order hasn't been signed yet, but once it's signed, then that's what I would be requesting, is that the City of Menasha ask for a hearing. And I guess we'll kind of go from there. There are certain standards that the Incorporation Review Board would be looking at to determine whether or not the incorporation should be approved. And I guess before we even get to that part of it, we just initially need to request this hearing. In addition to that, we will, I am expecting to talk to the attorney representing the petitioners and town of Menasha to see if there's any room for discussion relative to some of the issues that the City of Menasha may have on the town remnant and the incorporation just in general. So that's where we are on that one.
Do you have a question, Alderman Keenan?
Yeah, just when you were talking about the original petitions, you talked about two types of signatures, electors and what was the other one? Freeholder? Could you explain what those are and what if there's a certain ratio that they have to have of each?
Each person who signs a petition for incorporation has to be both an elector and has to actually own property in the town of Menasha. So for each signature that is on a petition, that person has to be both of those things. And a freeholder is it's a legal term of art. That's what it says in the statute, but it just means a property owner.
Does anyone else have questions for Attorney Captain? Alderman Langdon.
Thank you, Mayor. So, Pam, are we doing this because of the east side? I mean, the west side, they're not even, we have nothing to do with the west side. I mean, their kids go to Neenah over there. What does that have to do with Menasha, really?
I don't even know if you can go on, Pam, but the school district doesn't have any bearing with the city that you're in, technically. Kids that live on the east side of Menasha also go to Appleton schools, so that doesn't necessarily have a bearing.
No, it's the school district.
But it doesn't have a bearing on what city you would live in, or town, or village, or things like that.
But
So-
the west side is on the other side of the lake.
And actually, our border goes all the way to the other side of the lake. From 9th Street down to where Abbey Avenue or Nicolay Boulevard would intersect. And it goes all the way to the west side of the lake. We're right up to the shore. The entire trestle
So we're in the
is
city of Menasha when we're out in the boat?
Yep, the entire trestle is in the city, all the way to shore. The shore of Fritzie Park is in the city of Menasha.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So. But a lot of our main concern is just the checkerboard pattern that's left on the east side. I mean, that's a huge portion of our concern, as well as the ability to grow in the future. So, Alderman Zelinski?
Thank you. City of Appleton have anything? They're out, did they attend or comment?
The City of Appleton is a party in interest just as the cities of Neenah and Menasha and the town of Clayton. They did not, however, adopt any resolution like the city of Menasha and the city of Neenah did.
Everyone's being so polite, looking at everyone else. Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Attorney Captain, you mentioned requesting a hearing after some sort of order is signed. Could you review that part of the process again and what that hearing is for and what you're requesting this evening?
And it is something that we can probably discuss in closed session. If, just as far as the process is concerned, we have a certain number of days within which to request that the Incorporation Review Board actually hold a hearing relative to its duties that it's going to undertake in reviewing whether or not the petition meets the statutory requirements and its consideration of the two resolutions, that being the City of Menasha's resolution and the City of Neenah's resolution. And so it would be in our interest to request that hearing. We only have a certain number of days within which to do that once the order is signed. And so, 30 days is pretty short in the scheme of how the city holds meetings. We generally only have 2 a month, so that's why I just thought if we can put it on this agenda, perhaps the next agenda as well, there may be something on it for us to discuss. What our next...
Authorization to do that tonight.
I guess that would be helpful, because then we can just make that request after the order is signed so that we know that we've got that request out there.
So we could go into closed session if you'd like to regarding that, or we could just give that authorization to hold the hearing in open session, depending on what your preference is at this point. And we can think about it a little bit if there's more questions as well.
Well, I'm comfortable in making a request for a hearing. A simple request, and so I'll move to authorize the city attorney to request a hearing after the order has been signed.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that matter? Alderman Zelinski.
Thank you. Okay, are you going to need other legal help?
I'm not requesting any at this time, no.
I should note that you are conferring with City of Appleton, City of Neenah, Town of Clayton, I believe, as well.
That's correct.
So,
And Rich Carlson is the attorney who is representing the town.
further discussion? Town of Clayton, yes.
Yes.
Andy Rossmeisel is representing Town of Menasha.
The Hurling Clark Law Firm,
Okay.
and the actual attorney assigned to that is Ross Meisel. That's correct. Who is the same attorney who is representing Harrison's.
Further discussion on that? Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 7-0.
Sure.
And with regard to this item, I expect that once the order is signed, then I'll have further discussions with Attorney Ross Meisel, and it is likely that this item will appear on the next agenda as well.
Is there any further discussion or questions for the attorney? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Broadcasts of the City of Menasha Administration Committee, Board of Public Works, and Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Menasha residents and interested parties can obtain information about these meetings and meeting agendas from the city website, www.cityofmenasha-wi.gov. Expression of opinions regarding City of Menasha issues or about these broadcasts can be made by contacting the mayor's office, 920-967-5117. Contacting their city alderman. Contact information appears on the website. Completing the electronic feedback form on the website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.